Pick up your manga, pick up your things, tune into your anime and get yourself together, because it's time to weeb about it. Talking about all these things, time to weeb about it. Talking about anime, it's time to weeb about it. Hi, my name is HRL.
And my name is Sata.
And this is Weeb About It. Everybody, welcome to the next episode of Weeb About It. This should be episode 4 of Weeb About It. And I just want to say, guys, if you guys have been listening to the past episodes, please check those out if you just want to get a little bit of anime history for you guys. But as you probably can see from the title, we got a little special one for you guys. And an anime that's very extremely popular. Not as much as it used to be, but but one that I do find myself delving into here and there. And
I think I would even say this is a very important anime to us.
Yes, a very one that I put even Sata on.
Yeah, so, this is the first anime he ever introduced me to that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm, a little too much. But this is My Hero Academia, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big one. This is one of the animes that we're going to be really delving into in the future seasons and episodes that we're going to be going into. Mm-hmm. This is what we're going to be talking about very critically, and you're going to start seeing that throughout the seasons we go to, you're going to start hearing a little bit more criticism coming into here. But
whether it's good or bad, because we got a lot of opinions as the seasons get further. What?
Yeah, no. Well, no. Just in general, like as the seasons get further, and also how this podcast goes on. But I think we should probably just kind of delve into it. So, Sada, would you like to start us off on a little bit of an introduction of what this anime is, for those who do not know?
Yeah, so this is going to be the first episode where I'm trying something new, where I just don't have a script in front of me of what I should say. Mm-hmm. So this is all from memory, and it's going to be a word fuck.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so I think it starts off with our main protagonist, Izuku Midoriya, and he is going to be like in school, and it's going to be like about what they want to do in the future. And it's like everyone makes fun of him because he wants to be a hero. And we later learned that the reason why
I'm sorry to hear that. Continue.
We later learned that why that is funny, in quotes, is because he's quirkless. So this is a world where everyone has quirks, which is like a gift, a special power that they have. Midoriya doesn't have one, and the reason for that is because he has like an extra digit in his toe, or no, like an extra joint in his pinky toe. I think that's what it was. But anyways, we get to that, and then we meet the deuteragonist Bakugo Katsuki or Katsuki. It depends on who you are, your preference, because it can be pronounced both ways. I swear in the Japanese versions I hear Katsuki, but in the English I hear Katsuki.
Yeah, it's just dub and translation.
Yeah, it could be just a translation thing, but it's also because it can literally be pronounced both ways, because the Tsu part of his name, that kanji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that another day.
So we have Bakugo, who is Midoriya's main bully. We fast forward to him blowing up his notebook and then throwing it out the window. Midoriya retrieves it from the pond. It's being eaten by a fish. We go on to him walking home, thinking about life, and he gets attacked by a villain. This villain's what the hell is he? Like,
I forgot.
Like a gunk, like
slime. Yeah, like a slime kind of guy.
Yeah,
he's like a slime boy.
He's like a green gunky. He's like Muck from Pokemon, but green.
Yeah, and then more ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, because he's got fucking teeth.
Yeah.
Which is creepy. But he's like, he attacks Midoriya. He's escaping from someone. And we learn that someone is All Might. He's planning to make Midoriya into a meat suit, suffocating him, like going into his lungs, trying to enter his ears, eyes, everything he can. And then he gets saved by All Might. Midoriya passes out. And when Midoriya comes to, he asks for an autograph. All Might's already done it. And All Might's trying to leave with the slime captured inside 2 soda bottles. And he latches onto All Might's leg, and they're forced there's a funny moment here where All Might's like, get off, and they're fucking hundreds of feet in the air, and he's like, if I let go, I'll die. And it's like, oh yeah. And then they land on the roof, and All Might immediately tries to leave, but Midoriya stops him and asks him if he can be a hero even though he doesn't have a quirk. All Might says no. And so, just like that, Midoriya's dreams are crushed, and he becomes a supervillain. And this is where the
what is this, a fanfic?
That is a very popular headcanon, though, that I find myself intrigued by. Because, like, would he become a villain? Who knows? We'll get into that.
Sada.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into fanfiction another episode.
No, not fanfics. So Midoriya's dreams are crushed, and then he hears an explosion, goes towards it instinctively. And learns that Bakugo is the one who is being attacked. And without thinking, he rushes in to save Bakugo. Of course, he can't because he's powerless, and this is a fucking villain that the superheroes are struggling to get to. And those 3 superheroes who are trying to save him, in my opinion, they're kind of lame. All Might, seeing but Midoriya trying to rescue Bakugo, decides, hey, you know what? I have no excuse for being weak. I completely skipped this. I can't believe I skipped the most important part. While on the roof, before he is told no, All Might unintentionally reveals his other form, which is a very weakened, skeletal-looking man. And the cause of it is an injury he sustained about 4 or 5 years ago from some villain that like took most of his stomach, most of his intestines, damaged his livers and all that, you know. So he can only power up for so long. He's like losing his stuff.
He got effed in the ear on a Saturday. Like it was bad.
So he, since he was already on a time crunch when he met Midoriya, and then he lost the time crunch, he at the time of the attack doesn't have the power to go rescue Bakugo. But after seeing Midoriya, he's like, I don't have an excuse. So he does go in and he saves both the teens. And after Midoriya gets scolded, while Bakugo is praised for being so heroic, Midoriya heads home, and All Might stops him. And All Might says, you can be a hero. And he offers him his quirk. And then we go on to this like whole training montage of Midoriya. I guess it's not a montage.
It's a montage. You gotta put. It's like no, it's a Japanese anime. I mean, yeah, you can say Japanese montage for it. But think of like American montage. It's like you gotta push your best, but it's like anime style where it's all dramatic and really nice music. And speaking of which, before we go any further, My Hero's music is just god tier.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god! Yes. We're just gonna. This is the first time I'm going to say this like for an episode for now.
Like Kiss Kiss Fall in Love is like chef's kiss.
Yeah, for Auron.
But that was it.
But no, but My Hero's music, goddamn, like
they did a really, really good job with it. And every time a character's on screen, you can hear most of the time their own theme songs in the background, like Bakugo's explosive, and then Midoriya's more subtle but still powerful, and All Might's just loud, like
like hero,
you know,
like Superman kind of feels.
Almost, yeah.
I mean, that's he's bad today stuff.
He is, yeah.
But continue.
So then we get that like training montage, and now Midoriya's buff, and he's like, "Okay, you're ready for the quirk," and he pulls out his hair. It's like, "Eat this," and it's like, "What the fuck," you know? And I'm just thinking you couldn't. When watching this, I can't imagine swallowing just a piece of hair. But like the point is that you need DNA to inherit his quirk, which is one for all, which has been passed down to 7 people now, counting Midoriya, right? All Might being 6. But like I couldn't do that without something. Like give me a piece of bread. Let me roll it up and then shove it down.
I'll eat the fucking hair. I don't give a fuck.
I could not, because it's just. Ugh, you know, like I don't even like finding dog hair in my food. I'll still eat it because it comes with my jobs.
Yeah,
it's impossible to avoid. But no,
she's a groomer.
Yeah, I'm a groomer. I work at a groomer place, and then I also work as a dog salesperson, dog food salesperson. But
that's another day.
Yeah. But he eats the quirk, and now it's time for UA's entrance exam, UA being the hero school that he wants to go to, which All Might went to. And the test happens. He meets Bakugo again. Then he meets Uraka, who's going to become a very important character later on, who saves him from falling flat on his face. And he's immediately entranced by this girl actually talking to him.
He ain't got no bitches.
Yep, and then the entrance exam comes, and Midoriya is just fucking failing. And then it's nearing the end, and they release the like Zero robot or whatever, and Araka's trapped, and
it's the Zero robot. By the way, in context. So let me explain this. Let me explain this one in context. I still remember this one. So the entrance exam they basically send out all these robots. And the whole point of the entrance exam is to test your hero skill, essentially. Not really just the power that you have, but how can you utilize your power to not only save people, to deal with the threat, minimum damage, and stuff like that. And they have this really extremely big one, like a really huge one, which essentially is the 0 point, the robot. And the whole point,
0 points.
Yeah, the whole point why it's worth 0 points is because you're meant to run away. It's supposed to be that big giant threat that you're supposed to get away from and to save as many people as possible, and just you're not mainly meant to kill it.
I would like to also point out the whole saving people thing is a hidden point of the exam. It is explicitly said that you are to destroy the robots and collect points. 1 pointer, 2 pointer, 3 pointers, and then the 0 pointer, which you don't need to worry. You're not supposed to worry about. You just leave it alone. So yeah.
And so so let's continue with what you were talking about.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and make this quickly, but I'm trying to do like a quick recap of the whole season because
not the whole season. Let's not do the whole season.
It's gonna be quick. Don't worry. So Midoriya saves Araka, gains 0 points, passes out. Recovery Girl kisses him because that's her power to heal people. She has to kiss him, uses their own energy, gummy bears to restore, whatever. He thinks he failed, and he did. He got 0 points. So a week later, he gets his letter, and he actually passed because he got 60 rescue points for the stunt he pulled. Yeah. He goes to UA, meets all the new students, Bakugo, Ida, whatever. Now it's... then there's like this test where he needs to use his quirk to pass, but he can't. And we meet the homeroom teacher Aizawa, whose quirk is to stop other quirks. Then we skip that to like another class where All Might is in charge, and it's like a capture the flag kind of thing. Would you say like they have to put their hand on a missile to win.
It's like control.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah. If she doesn't play games like I do, guys, so I'd be playing that Destiny too. So check me out on Twitch.
Yeah, I guess it's like that. But so it's Midoriya and Araka versus Ida and Bakugo, and Bakugo hates Midoriya because he's supposed to be a quirkless no one. He's a Deku. And Izuku and Araka actually end up winning when Bakugo, with his new gun, blasts Midoriya, and Midoriya, with his new quirk, blasts a hole into the roof, allowing Araka to win. And Bakugo's fucking pissed, and Izuku tries to explain himself, but Bakugo knows something is up. So then we get to a bunch of like just school shit. And then it's the USJ arc, and that's important because this is when we start to see where this series is going to go. And that's when, for me, I really actually got hooked onto the season. Because what happens is they're on a little quote-unquote school field trip to go learn how to be like rescuers and as a part of hero training. And villains attack the area. And then we have like these 60, who knows how many villains, all spread out throughout the gymnasium. Aizawa is going down. 13 is down. All the students are separated. And it's just like fight after fight after fight. And it's just like a life or death moment because these villains don't care that they're kids. They are there to kill. And finally, and the whole point they're there is Shigaraki has brought like this Nomu alongside Kurogiri to defeat All Might. They're there for All Might. They want to kill All Might. And this Nomu is supposed to kill All Might. All Might finally arrives. He was supposed to be there in the beginning, but he overdid himself, so he had no power left. He arrives, starts kicking ass, nearly dies. The whole plan was to like shove him into a portal and cut him in half. And Midoriya, Bakugo, Kirishima, Todoroki, all of them, like, kind of help somehow. And, I mean, it's kind of like a somehow. Mm-hmm. These guys are, like, notorious villains, and these are new hero students, with the exception of Todoroki. And All Might ends up winning. He defeats the Nomu. Midoriya almost dies. Asui almost dies. Aizawa is dying. And that's then a bunch of other heroes come in, and the villains are forced to retreat or are arrested. And we end off on that note. No, we don't. We actually end up with Shigaraki in some random room on the floor bleeding because he was shot like 5 times.
Yeah, by what was it, Deadeye or something like that, or
Sniper, I think.
Sniper, yeah.
Yeah, Deadeye I think is a different series.
Nope.
But and we hear a voice on the TV saying like reassuring him that it's okay that he failed. There's next time, and it's like this very masculine, intimidating voice, and we realize he is the key hero, but we don't get to see him. That's what did it in for me, and that's when I really started to get into the series.
Hero?
But that's all of season 1.
You mean key villain?
Key villain. What did I say?
Hero.
My mistake.
I was like, he's no fucking hero. God, no. Oh, God, no.
We don't know their names yet, so I'm not going to say their names if it's not explicitly mentioned, I don't think.
No.
I don't think not yet. Like,
No.
I mean, maybe next season we can.
Yeah.
We'll probably get into the main villain next season, because I think that's when he really comes into play.
Well, that's season 1.
Yeah, that's season 1.
Broadly explained, but fuck it. But
there is a YouTuber. If I find a recap that's real good to listen, I'm gonna mention them on stream because if they're good, why not listen to it? So this dude's name is Relax and Recap, all capitalized, and he did a review on season 1 of My Hero Academia, which I found pretty good and a nice refresher. Only 11 minutes long, maybe 12. A good way for me to refresh my memory, because season 1 is not one I come back to.
Yeah, and we'll get to that now. And so, speaking of which,
that's your plot recap. Okay.
So we're not going to go over the characters because I mean we don't really have to. Well,
here's the thing. I'm just going to quickly list off characters because they're there. As we talk about it, we're going to be saying their names, and you can get an idea. I assume most people who are watching this episode have heard about and are in the known about it, as this is a series that is actively going on. Slime and Ouran High School, the first 2 episodes. Ouran High School is like, oh god, 6 years old? 7 years old?
I don't fucking know.
It came out like 2016 or 2017. Slime is just, it didn't really pick up, so... But My Hero is like one of the most popular animes out right now.
So if you haven't watched My Hero, I would just go watch it. But let's get into the start with the good. I think the good is probably the one thing I will have to say. Now you have it listed here. Now my fiance is the one who kind of makes a lot of the scripts around here. So I just want to make that very clear.
Outlines for us.
So she put down animation and action, and I will admit. The animation is fucking lit, and I think you forgot to add one more to that.
I definitely didn't add on to this.
No. Let me add something onto the good. The fucking intro. Oh my god. When I first watched the intro for My Hero Academia, that song hits different, bro. I'm telling you, I was in my room dancing, and I haven't even started the series yet. I was like, oh, this is bopping. I was like, oh, this is good. Like, the intro is so fucking good. The animation, I will agree, is fucking amazing.
It is choreographed perfectly.
And if she's read the manga, so
yeah. And after I watched season 2, I'm like, I'm gonna read the manga.
Yeah. And what did you think compared to the manga and the anime?
They are close. They are very good and close. The anime obviously is gonna be more clean. The manga, his art style improved over time, but like, dude can draw. Like, I've never seen anyone able to just draw hands. And he does it like it's a fucking triangle, like the easiest shape out there. He draws hands like that. It's amazing.
I suck at hands still.
What's his name? Hiroshi?
I do believe so. And the action in the action, even for the early parts of the anime, is so good. The Nomu fight, oh my god. Dude, where do I even start with that? Oh my god, jeez. Oh my god. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
Horikoshi.
Yeah, I think, Horikoshi, I do believe so. But I I'm telling you, the All Might versus Nomu fight just hits different. The anime literally takes a step forward after that. I think the All Might and the Nomu fight really is a staple of what you expect from big fights in this anime. And I'm telling you guys, future seasons do not disappoint. Except season 5 and 6. So,
we'll get into that, though.
That will be episodes from now. And by that time, the series will probably be over. So, but God, guys, like, Jesus Christ. Like, I cannot really just imagine. And we'll get to the bad soon, but Jesus. And then the character designs. I gotta add to that. The art, the character design, the world that is My Hero Academia is actually pretty freaking good. Like, they really...
it's really good.
You feel at home. You feel like you're actually, like, learning about this world. Like, you feel like part of this world when you're watching the anime. Like, Midoriya, he has his flaws a lot. But I would say this one thing I like about Midoriya is that, like, it's like he's kind of like the voice of reason in a lot of these situations. Like, he actually, like, kind of... It's like the voice of reason.
He's really smart. He can be. He lacks some common sense.
Yes, a lot.
But he's, like... Heroes, that is his thing. He has 13 notebooks full of information about all these heroes. And like he's a very analytical dude.
Yeah.
He lacks common sense and he succumbs to his emotions, but he's very smart.
Like, he will mumble to himself about, like, all his information. Yeah. It's like does he still do that in the anime?
No.
No?
I can't remember, but that's for later.
Yeah.
But anyways,
but
later on. This is season 1.
What would you say will be your good, essentially? Cause
the action and the animation, they're beautiful. Each fight is done well. None of them disappointed. Even the very first one.
That I agree with.
Like, within the first minute of the show, where we see a new superhero come onto the scene and how they do their debuts there. Like, that wasn't super disappointing. And then with even with the fucking slime villain, that was really good. And then Bakugo versus Midoriya, that was enchanting to watch because you weren't expecting it. And then also we learned that, like, Bakugo and Midoriya are childhood friends or had a falling out. I can't remember if season 1 was when we learned it.
Yeah, season 1.
Yeah, so, like, they had a falling out because of Deku being quirkless, Midoriya being quirkless, whatever. I'm gonna be calling these people different names. Midoriya, Izuku, Deku, those are all one person. Katsuki, Bakugo, that's all one person.
Some crazy shit, bro.
Eraserhead, Aizawa, that's one person. You'll probably never hear me say All Might as Yagi. That would be our laundry.
Yep, that would be the laundry. But continue.
But it's the story. The story is also something very good. There's also a flaw with season 1, but it makes sense. It's very much the introductory season.
We'll get to that. That would lead into our bad. Yeah.
Hey, I know how to do transitions. Segues, whatever.
Shit, run. She knows too much, guys. Shit. But what happens is I feel like the really bad part, and I think everyone in the, oh god, I keep hitting my fucking desk. Everyone and their fucking grandma can say this. My god, Midoriya cries way too much. That man cries more than I can't even.
I actually don't hate it because that's just who he is. I mean, when you meet his mother, it makes a lot of sense. They're crybabies. It's a Midoriya thing, apparently.
Yeah, just fucking cries all the damn. I can't stand that. And
I don't hate it. I like it as part of his character.
Dude, it's literally like a meme, like how much this man cries. Like, I swear to God, like the first season's literally like it's like this. You see an ant on the floor, right? And he's like, it's not actually in the anime, but let's say an ant crawls around the floor, and then all of a sudden the ant gets taken away by a wasp, and this man will start crying about it. He'll be like, I should have known. I could have saved the ant. Like it's like this man cries like a bitch. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to say it.
He cries when he's happy. He cries when he's sad. He doesn't cry when he's angry. But, well, he might tear up, but...
Yes, he does. Yes, the fuck he does. That motherfucker be crying. Like,
he's scared, you know.
This man will cry just for fucking stressing out on a test. Like, oh my god. This man... but yeah, when he cries, they make it so, like, dramatic. Like, which is, like, there's nothing bad about it. It's just... This man will cry. It is, like... I feel like on the first episode alone, he's cried at least, like, 3 times.
Okay, let's see.
Oh gosh, you can actually do it. Oh god.
I gotta go replay episode 1 in my head. So you talk while I count.
So yeah. So God, this is sad. So yeah. See, this is how much time he cries. But also another thing is, it can be slow. Yeah, I would agree on this sense because it was one of our bullet points. It is slow as shit. It takes a while for the shit to ramp up. Like that's good for it's like a decent slow pace, but it can be slow. If you like an anime to be back to back, like let's do this shit, like boxing, mollywopping, slapping, all types of shit. It's gonna be really hard to kind of go through those first couple episodes. How many?
2 or 3 times, but
right.
It's not a lot though. But because like the first one I can call off the top of my head would be when he's saving Bakugo, he does tear up, and then when All Might offers him his power, he definitely full on balls. And there's a chance he cried a little bit in the first episode when Bakugo burnt his notebook, but like I can't recall it very
the motherfucker still cried a lot. That's the point.
In terms of number of freakouts, I mean, almost all of the All Might meeting, yeah, he freaked out.
He's a fanboy, which makes sense.
He's a big weeb.
Oh God!
I guess that's a good word for it.
Yeah,
he's a geek.
I mean, we are.
I guess in this, I guess in this universe, he would just be like a huge fanboy, huh?
Yeah, but dude, it's just a lot, and it's just fucking Christ. Like he just cries too much. I think that's my only biggest gripe, and it's a little bit slow. But I also would say, yeah, I would agree. It's much of an introductory season. It's a season that introduces you and sets you up for season 2, 3, 4, and 5, and wherever the hell.
And it does a really good job because you actually in the what I said capture the flags, but you said something else.
Control. And
the control game. Excuse me. There you get introduced to most of the classmates there. Mm-hmm. You get a very brief, like one or two sentence of what their quirk is and what they're doing, and it's a really good way to introduce everyone. Even during the quirk assessment, the testing, episode 3, I guess. I don't actually remember. I'm going to say episode 3 or 4. But you get to like see them and their quirks in the background, and you start to learn a little bit more about them. And then near the end, you have a good feeling about these characters, and they're actually there. And that's something that I quite enjoy. By the USJ arc, all of his classmates are there, and you see that they're going to become important as we see shots of them all the time. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah. It's not great, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and it's slow. But it's a great way to use up an entire season and introduce someone. It's a great way for the manga to have gotten into it and introduced people, and still he managed to keep it entertaining.
Yes.
And I think it was important for the anime to end with the USJ arc. If they had ended before that and started off with season 2, they would have lost a lot of viewers. That's my personal opinion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it really explains it right there. So I think we can try to go into the controversies.
So there's only one controversy I can think of, and that's because I see it often. I love fan fiction. After season 2, I got into fan fiction for this series. Yeah. And then I started writing my own. So I know there's one thing that when it comes to the beginning of My Hero that a lot of people complain about. And that was when Bakugo suicide baited. Wow, yeah, no.
I knew that you were going to fuck that up. I was like, oh, wow. I was like just confused for a second there.
Suicide baiting for Izuku. So Bakugo says, and if I misquote this, I'm going to be upset with myself.
Yeah, Mrs. Big Fan.
But he goes on to say to Midoriya, if you want to be born with a quirk, take a swan dive off. No, wait. Why don't you take a swan dive off the roof and pray you're born with a quirk in the next life? Something along those lines.
Yeah. Sounds like something Bakugo would say.
Yeah. And so that brought some controversies, and there's to this day people who absolutely hate Bakugo because of the suicide baiting. here's my personal opinion, and this is me reading into it, I guess, but also from taking context of what he later develops into. I am reading the manga. I read the manga. How the anime did it and how the manga did it. Slightly different, but still the same. I think Bakugo shouldn't have done that. That is true. Suicide baiting is wrong. I would be shocked if he was the only one to do it, because the whole thing is that quirkless people are extremely rare and are useless in this world. So there's no way he was the only classmate, the only person to have suicide baited Midoriya. And Midoriya didn't even take it, harshly. I also think that it's entirely possible, and we're probably getting to headcanon category here. It's entirely probable that Bakugo is just a victim of society. Society views quirkless people as weak and useless. That has been there since Midoriya learned about that he was quirkless, and that's when things shifted. And then he started becoming a bully, and humans are horrible creatures. If something's useless, you get rid of it. We often say they're better off dead when it comes to certain people in society. Mm-hmm. There are a ton of people I can think of that are in prison right now that I read about on the news that are like, God, this person should not be alive. He should not be welcomed back into society. That's just how it works. Because we're seeing it from Midoriya's perspective, I think that's why we are so sentimental. If we were seeing it from someone else's perspective and Midoriya was the background character, this dude with absolutely no power, constantly going on about something he can't be, refuses to do anything else with his life, knows he can't do anything. Wouldn't you get annoyed with him? Mm-hmm. So I think it was a very necessary thing to happen. I think it's important to show off who these characters are and who they could be.
And I think the creator probably attended that. We don't know.
Who knows? Because that's a flaw I'll get into in like another episode. Because that's like something that happened in the manga has not yet been animated. So that I think it'll be either season 6 or season 7 of My Hero. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
this is a completely different world.
Yeah,
and I personally love the thought that Bakugo is just another victim of how society works. You always fall in line with how society views the norm. If society thinks useless people should not be there, he's going to think useless people should not be there. Quirkless people should not be there. Yeah, quirkless people should not be heroes. He may as well have been in the norm for suicide baiting someone who is quirkless. Now, there is a headcanon that I love. And I see this often in some fan fictions. I think it's just something that kind of like picked up pace for people who want to write about if Midoriya never got his quirk. And that is, quirkless people almost never make it to the age of 20 because of all the suicide baiting, because of the fact that of all the discrimination. Mm-hmm. And I want to view that. You can stop me if you want.
I'm letting you go. I like this.
And I'm just going to say we could put it into terms of race.
Oh.
If you want. It's up to you, because you're a lot more intelligent in this subject than I am. And that is, let's change roles. Let's say Midoriya is the black person.
I mean, okay, I'm going to stop you here. Because we're not going to get into this talk for now, because I'm going to say this personally. I can see where you're going with this.
Okay, because I know I'm good. I have an idea in my head, but I don't think it's going to translate well.
No, that's why I'm stopping you. I was like, I know you too well.
I'll fudge up my words and make it worse.
Yeah, a lot worse than it. But I'm going to say this. She has a point, and that is something that you guys can talk about in the comment section if you guys want to, and kind of see where she's going with that, and understand where these are headcanons and fan fictions and stuff that we've seen, and that she's read personally. I remember you showing me actually one that actually had that. But yeah, we'll get into that another day, or you guys can talk about it in the comment section, or if you write fan fiction yourself, show your shit. So, but yes,
So Bakugo is like a simultaneously the most hated and the most loved character in the series.
Yes.
He somehow manages to remain equal even as the series progressed. And we see more development from everyone. My personal opinion, suicide baiting was absolutely necessary. We got a good grasp of what Bakugo was like within just 5 lines.
Yep. That dick. So, and speaking of my personal opinions of this, let's go into the personal opinions section of this whole thing, because I'm going to go over what you the fuck said in this bullet point. And I'm just going to read it off because...
So that's not your personal opinion. That's my personal opinion.
I know. This is Sada's personal opinion. It's the first bullet point. I wanted her to say it, but I gotta say this shit. I didn't like All Might. It took a while for me.
I didn't like All Might.
Why? You've got to explain this shit. This is blasphemy. All Might's cool as shit. What you talking about? Explain.
I remember talking to a coworker about this back when I worked at Insomnia Cookies. So he did not like Bakugo at first. Another person, he also did not like Bakugo. In fact, he didn't like Bakugo until Kirishima came into the picture. I didn't like All Might. I loved Bakugo right off the bat. I knew that this is going to be an interesting character. He's either going to become like a villain that we're going to be loving to see the rivalry with him and Midoriya, or he's going to become a hero that we'll also love to see the rivalry between. Because there's so much potential to start off with a deuteragonist who is horrible.
Before we go any further, what the fuck is a deuteragonist?
Deuteragonist is the second protagonist.
Oh, that's what they're called?
Yeah. I could be mispronouncing it too.
I didn't even know. Because you said it the first time, I was like, what the fuck is that? Is that like his name? Or I don't remember that.
So that's what you'll call... So, because sometimes there's main characters that there's more than one main character. However, literature says there can only be one main character, and that is Midoriya. However, the second most important character who could be labeled as the main character is the deuteragonist, who is Bakugo, because he is the second most important character. You can't have the story without those two people.
Okay, so what do you have? Someone who's essentially the love interest, but still like the...
Yeah, it's still just a love interest. Sometimes they can be like part of the main cast, like the main group, but...
Huh.
Typically, so like Araka, she is part of the main character list, yes, but she's not the protagonist. She's not the deuteragonist. She's not the most important character. The story can live without her, and she's a female, and it's a shonen manga anime. She's gonna disappear eventually and become into that stereotypical woman role. But no, that's what a deuteragonist is, and that's what a protagonist is.
All right,
they're very important.
We'll continue then.
All Might. When I first heard about right off the bat, you're like introduced to All Might, right? With young Midoriya freaking out over him, and you're like, okay, he's a really cool, powerful superhero. He's obviously going to be the inspiration for Midoriya to become a superhero, and he is. And then we get to meet him, and I'm like, he's kind of an ass.
I mean,
an unintentional ass. He is very narrow, focused on one thing. So I didn't like him. I started not liking him because it was funny when he's like, get off me, while they're fucking 300 feet, 500 feet in the air. And Midoriya's like, I can't, I'll die. And he's like, oh yeah, that was funny. And then he leaves him on the roof and he's like, I gotta go. I'm like, okay, that makes sense because he's in a rush to probably detain the villain in his pocket. That's important, yes. But then he just leaves this quirkless little dude on the building, on the roof of a 10-story building.
Yeah.
This little dude whose dream he's just crushed.
Yeah.
And it just didn't sit right with me. I think All Might, his whole personality shift the moment his secret was revealed. And I'm just like, you could handle this better, my dude.
I think that was the whole point of that scene.
It is, and it's important, and I agree that's important for his character. That's when I was like, okay, so maybe we're going down the route of your heroes aren't always the best people. And that would be interesting, but that's not the case. All Might really is a fucking awesome dude. He's like the hero of heroes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess you could say a father figure for Midoriya, too.
And he does end up becoming the father figure. Throughout the training, it was interesting. He did provide encouragement and all that, but it's when we get to the school, I'm like, he really wasn't a great mentor. Because he didn't, he said, clench your ass and then shout, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you activate your powers. Just clench your ass. I'm just like...
I think that adds also, more to his character, though, because he's not a good mentor. That's, like, his whole thing.
And then we got, like, the fact Midoriya doesn't know how to use his power, and All Might can't teach him how to use his power. All Might needed to be there more for Midoriya. He does become there later, but when the USJ arc happens, I think that's when the good turning point for me, and why in season 2 I ended up loving All Might. He, in his hero complex self, used up all of his powers when he's supposed to be teaching a class to go around saving people, not leaving anything to other heroes. He's because there are a ton of heroes in Tokyo, and that's where I believe they are. No, they're not. They're in the Shibuya district, which is not Tokyo. He's reckless, and so is Midoriya. He encourages Midoriya, but he doesn't put a stop to when he becomes reckless. He keeps encouraging Midoriya's reckless behavior, in my opinion. Later on, that changes, but he also just doesn't. He's just not he's just a horrible teacher. It was hard for me to like him. He just threw this little man who with no quirk into the wind, and was like, "Good luck." No way of preparing him for what he was getting into. In my opinion, he was not prepared. It was just like, you can be a hero. I can give you my quirk. Training. Eat this. Clench your ass. Go for it. That's what it felt like for me. And then USJ comes along and Midoriya tries to save All Might, and All Might's like trying to... And he's a good dude. He wants everyone to be safe. And when All Might nearly loses... until Midoriya helps, I think that's when things start to shift. And it shifts more in season 2 and especially season 3.
Oh, God, yes. Jesus.
Season 3, it was when I fell in love with All Might, and I'm like, okay, he really is a cool dude. But regardless, at first, I just didn't like him.
I fucking loved him.
Yeah, he was just a stupid hero complex dude to me.
All right, and what was the second one you had to say?
I said I love Bakugo.
Yeah, so you already said that one.
Bakugo is my favorite character.
Yeah. She's fangirling, that's why I said no, fuck with you.
I got a fucking smile on my face right now. Bakugo is the perfect character for me. I love that. Characters that start off not great, either because they're in a bad position or they're just a fucking asshole, and they develop into something better, and we get to see that with him. I just love it. I love a good story arc. I love character development. Bakugo has that. And you don't get that often enough. Midoriya, he's got the story there. But his character development doesn't really change so much as he just learns how to use his stuff.
Mm-hmm. He becomes a better hero.
And becomes like a better hero. That's him. Bakugo goes from being a fucking jerk to a fucking leader.
Yeah.
A respectable leader.
Leader.
That's what I said.
Leader. He's an eater.
No.
A respectable eater.
He's a respectable eater.
Yeah, he's the anteater, boys. He's Bakugo the anteater.
Another personal opinion. Let's see. I mean, I already said that I think the suicide baiting was necessary, so.
Yeah, so my personal opinion, though, show's just fucking good. Like, I had no problems, besides Victoria crying a lot. Like, my personal opinions about the show is that it really was especially a great introduction to a superhero manga. Because I feel like a lot of them either try to go dark and gritty immediately, but My Hero's like more light. It's especially for season 1. It's really high paced. It's really like kind of actiony, shonen kind of feel. Also, personal opinion, another one. All the side characters don't feel like side characters.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier, dude.
Dude.
Oh man, that got loud.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't reduce that.
Cover your headphones. Headphones?
No, use microphone?
Cover your ears, people.
Oh, yeah. No, I can edit that out. So, yeah. Well, like, edit it down. Sorry.
Yeah.
But continue.
My phone just beeped at me. Oh, Mom just tried making fried chicken following a recipe on YouTube. She says it's good, but it needed more seasoning after all.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. What you expect? So, yeah. The point is, yeah, no, every side character feels like a main character in their own way, and they actually contribute to fights and stories and everything. Like, they're really good. And we mentioned earlier there was a great introduction arc, and I honestly it was a great introduction, just season in general, where it shows off everybody in their own little way. They all contribute to something that's like whether a fight or something like that, and it feels good. It feels extremely good. It makes the whole thing feel more action-packed. You don't know whose quirk is going to fall behind or something like that, but they don't as much. And it just feels really fucking good. What was that dude with the purple? Mineta. I fucking love Mineta. He's
Everyone hates him. He is like the most hated character in the show.
He's so pervy, and I fuck with that.
He's a fucking huge
Yeah, he's one of us. So yeah, he's one of the squad,
Everyone's like, Mineta. So this is something that will come up in season 2, but just a little sneak peek to what you can expect for the controversy. Everyone thinks he's a sexual harasser. He's a perv.
Yeah.
He's just a perv.
Yeah, he's just a perv. Honestly, bro.
Yeah. I like Mineta. I think he's important to the story.
Yeah. We need him. We need his comedic relief.
I think everyone is real.
He gets the great shots. Good for the waifu. So yeah. So the thing is that Mineta is fucking awesome. I love Mineta. Ever since I first saw his character, I was like, I like this kid. Him. I feel it, bro. But
all right.
But I think that's about it. That's
about it. So I'm just gonna list off the characters real quick for this episode. I'm gonna be listing off characters for each episode we do, because there is a lot. So not all of them are gonna be here. Don't expect them all to be here. If I miss one, go ahead and just talk about who your favorite character is in the podcast. In the comics. Comments.
Yeah,
comics.
Yeah.
But anyways, the characters for today are Midoriya, Bakugo, All Might, Eraserhead, aka Aizawa, Uraraka, Ida, Kirishima, Mineta, Asuisuyu, Yaoyorozu, number 13, and Shigaraki and Kurogiri.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. They're all important. We've mentioned just about all of them, I think, except Yaoyorozu.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's anything else we gotta say. Today's episode was kind of shorter than usual, but this was just an introductory. Next time we talk about My Hero, I bet it's gonna get long.
I expect 2-hour episode. No,
I strongly believe season 3 is gonna be the longest. Ooh. Followed closely by season 5.
Oh no, season 5 and 6 are going to get a lot.
We still haven't even seen at the time of this recording. We have not seen season 6 yet.
I don't think we need to.
The problem, and it's personal reasons that we haven't watched it yet.
No, you're just fandom reasons. This is a whole big thing. No, fuck that shit.
All right.
No, but guys, before we go any further, I do want to say before episode 4 here, guys, for those who watching this, we're listening to this, I guess you could say, because it's a podcast.
We're not doing video podcast.
Not yet. So yeah, but I do want to say, guys, thank you all for always coming in here and just chilling in here and just kind of talking about this. I know some of the things that I feel like we talk about is a little bit out of box sometimes and stuff like that. I had to listen to the past episodes and stuff like that. But just understand that these are all personal opinions. This is why we want to make a podcast. We want to talk about how we feel about certain animes and certain seasons about certain animes and stuff like that. So please, in the comment section, I want to know, what is your favorite character for My Hero for season 1, or just in general, My Hero? Why is that your favorite character? Again, Mineta, my G. But still, though, what makes My Hero also very? If you haven't watched it, you need to answer this question. But if you have watched My Hero, what makes it so great of an anime to you? And so, tell us your thoughts. So, yeah.
My question for today is going to be, who is your most hated character from My Hero Season 1?
So we got one for me and one for Sada. Okay.
I'm going to do this every episode. If I forget, I'm sorry. It's going to happen one day.
Fuck it. We'll figure it out. Boop. Yeah. So, guys, I think this should be the end of it. So
yeah,
thank
you for joining us.
Rate, comment, and subscribe. Oh no, if I wrote you, but no, but seriously, definitely subscribe if you want to hear some more. Definitely like this if you like the podcast. And like I said, tell me your thoughts.
Till next time.
Till next time, guys. Stay safe. Live life to the fullest. Kick some ass.
And weeb about it.
Oh, yeah. And weeb about it. Yeah, hell
there we go.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Adios.